Are you trying to figure out which hotel credit card is going to allow you to get the most possible value in terms of earning free nights? Well, that's a great question, and it's true that all free nights are not created equal. Because of different policies on point caps, when those benefits are awarded, and other factors, you may be expecting a free night at a beach resort in Hawaii, where in reality, you actually have only earned a free night at a Fairfield Inn on the side of a highway. So while some cards are worth getting right away and others are worth driving right on past, I'm going to break down exactly which ones hold the most value in a classic tier list style ranking. Let's jump right on in. Now, before we start, I want to focus on a few parameters. First, this list is only going to look at personal credit card. No business cards in this one. Second, this list is going to be catered towards the practical traveler. Sure, we'll talk about the options which will allow you to get those 5-star stays in some of the nicest hotels, and we'll also look at the other end of the scale where you're really getting budget-friendly options and trying to pile up as much as you possibly can for those. But really, we're looking at someone who likes to stay in 2 to 4-star hotels and get really good value for their stays. That's what these rankings are based on. And remember, this list is focused around earning free nights and how a credit card may or may not be able to do that for you. I'll keep in mind factors such as the annual fee, the average value of a free night you could redeem, and how easy or hard the card may make it to redeem that free night. And while we will consider other factors around the card, it's not going to be a full review of that credit card, more so using it as a vehicle to cash in free nights. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it with the first card, the World of Hyatt credit card. This card comes in with a $95 annual fee, and its free night benefit entitles you to a category 1 to 4 Hyatt hotel every card member year after your card member anniversary. Additionally, you can earn a free night at the same category 1 to 4 range after spending $15,000 in a calendar year. This card displays an example of an automatic benefit and a conditional benefit, with conditional benefits being the one that you have to do something or achieve some sort of spending requirement in order to trigger more free night benefits. Now, Hyatt considers their properties listed with a number, say 1 through 8, as their hotels based on status. The higher number that you go, the better the hotel is generally going to be. For example, the category 4, which is the limit for the free night based on this card, can get you into properties like the Hyatt Place Waikiki Beach, valued at $250 to $300 a night cash price in Hawaii, the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress Resort, valued at $200 to $250 in Florida, or even the Hyatt Vacation Club at the Wild Oak Ranch, which is about $260 to $350 cash price in Texas. So we can easily see that you can definitely get about $250 or more just with that free night certificate. Now, the World of Hyatt Rewards program is already extremely popular, especially with Chase cardholders, and that's because of the extremely high value of Hyatt points, which can be received from a Chase point transfer. Now, while Hyatt has powerful point currency, and this is a powerful free night option, the one negative to know is that Hyatt properties are simply not as widespread as some other brands we'll talk about here. So they're generally going to be more perfect for the vacation-focused traveler. Still, my verdict on this card is that for a $95 annual fee, the potential to earn 2 free night certificates for only $15,000 in spend, and at least one guaranteed, is going to be a big win for anybody considering this credit card. This is really a no-brainer, which lands it right off the bat in the S tier. Let's move on to another Chase issued card, the Chase Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card with a $95 annual fee. This card offers a free night certificate valued up to 35,000 points after your card member anniversary. Now, the Bonvoy Boundless is absolutely known for its sign-up bonus, which can range up to 5 free nights, but currently sits at 3 free nights plus points. However, what's important to me is looking at the long-term sustainability. Now, it's important to understand that Marriott points are not worth as much as Hyatt points are. The points guy pegs them at 0.7 cents a point, so keep in mind a 35,000 point certificate is realistically going to be valued between $200 and $240 in cash value. Thankfully, if you want to narrow down where you could potentially stay, Marriott has a tool that allows you to search for hotels under the 35K point cap. What you'll notice right away is that it's already harder to find a quality stay at a nice property within that restriction. You have to be careful because you can find some real clunkers in terms of value. For example, this courtyard by the airport in Asheville, North Carolina costs 39,000 points when you can get a cash night for about $144. That's a terrible return on the points that you're going to spend. Some slightly better examples include when I filter for hotels under 40,000 points, which you can find one in Orlando. And as I scroll through, you can see a couple that stand out that fall anywhere between $175 and $225 in terms of cash price. Marriott branded properties offer quite the range in terms of the quality of your stay, so you're going to have to hunt to find that value. However, I know that it's still there, even at the 35,000 point cap. Because of this variance and how you're going to have to hunt, this is a C tier card. Let's look at another one in the Marriott lineup, the American Express Marriott Bonvoy Bevy and the Chase Marriott Bonvoy Bountiful card. Both cards essentially identical, coming in at a $250 annual fee. Now these cards surprisingly don't offer a guaranteed free night. I'll be the first to say that it almost makes no sense. How can you move up an annual fee and naturally expect more value, but yet Marriott, Chase, and American Express, they take away the guaranteed free night after that card member anniversary. Despite that massive negative, they allow you to use these cards to spend $15,000 in a year to earn a free night certificate valued up to 50,000 points. When you factor in the lower value of Marriott points, realistically, you're looking at being able to cash this in for a real cash price of about $350, which is honestly a significantly nice property. And keep in mind, if you wanted to go higher, whether it's on this card or the Boundless card we talked about before that, Marriott allows you to top off your free night certificate with up to an additional 15,000 Bonvoy points. Because I simply hate how this card increases the annual fee, yet takes the guarantee free night certificate away and makes it conditional based on spend, I'm placing these cards and their free night certificate onto the E tier in this list. We now have to look at the top card in the Marriott portfolio. This is the Amex Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, a $650 annual fee card. This card does bring back the guaranteed free night award given after that card member anniversary, and it allows you to redeem a room up to 85,000 Bonvoy points. Now, if you do the math, the cash value on a room up to 85,000 points, you could expect that to be close to $600. So we're talking about a premium stay that this card will trigger for you for free automatically. Let's look at some fun examples. How about the St. Regis Bal Harbour during non-peak dates for roughly 84,000 points? What about the Ritz-Carlton Tokyo coming in at 82,000 points? For that room, they're charging roughly a cash equivalent of $785. This is high-end stuff. Now, regardless of your style, you should be able to accommodate what you're looking for within that cap. However, the $650 annual fee does add a bit of pressure, but because of the massive weight of that annual fee, I can't put this any higher than a B tier free night award certificate in its connection to that card. Let's switch gears and move off Marriott and into one of my favorite hotel credit cards of 2025. This is the IHG One Rewards Premier Card, and it comes in at a really reasonable $99 annual fee. Now, this card actually has 2 free nights potentially able for you to earn. 1 automatic free night benefit and 1 conditional benefit based on spend. The automatic benefit is point capped at 40,000 IHG points. However, with IHG, you can top off with points as well. The conditional benefit based on spend is if you spend and redeem 3 nights worth of award points, you can get the 4th night free. This can be an incredibly valuable benefit, especially if you're the type of card holder who wants to book longer award-based stays. Now, we have to be real about point value. IHG points are not very valuable. Even a 40,000 capped point value on the free night certificate, well, at a 0.5 cent per point valuation, you're expecting to translate that roughly at the upper end to about a $200 cash price stay. Now, IHG has different tiers of hotels, just like a lot of other brands. So 40,000 points, you have to be crafty about how nice you can go. But you could sneak into the Kimpton Epic in Miami and get there for 42,000 points, which covers what would have been a $222 hotel room. While that's probably more of an exception than a standard stay at an IHG property, the ability to get a guarantee free night and the potential to earn more than one over the course of a year really makes this card stand out. That's why I'm placing this in the A tier. And hey, one last note. I made an entire video breaking down the IHG lineup of credit cards, so if you're interested in learning more about what they bring to the table, go ahead and check that one out right after this video ends. Let me flip over to Hilton with the Hilton Honors Surpass, a $150 annual fee card. You don't earn an automatic free night on here, which is slightly disappointing considering the price point. However, you can get an uncapped free night certificate after $15,000 in spend on the card. Now, once you spend that $15K in a calendar year, let's check out some of the properties as an uncapped stay you could potentially be cashing in for. We can look at the Waldorf Astoria in Chicago. And here I'm looking at a night where it could cost anywhere between 95 and 300,000 points and roughly $750 a night if you wanted to book in cash. Now, $15,000 is high if you wanted to redeem for just a single night. So this card has to make sense as part of a broader credit card strategy. However, if experiences are something you're going for and you see value in really seeking out how ridiculously nice you could push this free night certificate, I think this could be an attractive card for some people out there. For me, $15K in spend is pretty high to get a free night certificate, and you're spending on pretty meh multipliers all the way up to earn that $15K. However, being so value oriented, I have to put this in the C tier myself. Let's jump right up and look at the Hilton Honors Aspire card, the $550 premium card from Hilton. Buckle in now, there's a few free nights at play. The first is one uncapped free night. The second is another, triggered after $30,000 in spend. And finally, one last one, triggered after $60,000 of spend within a calendar year. Now again, we talked about how ridiculous some of these uncapped free nights can be. But let's keep having some fun, and within the Hilton portfolio is properties like the Waldorf Astoria in the Maldives or the Conrad Bora Bora, all charging in cash between $800 and $1,200 per night. These rooms could be potentially yours for free if you're willing to spend enough on the Hilton Honors Aspire card. Now, this card completely breaks through and changes things for me in comparison to its little brother, the Surpass card. I love a card that will give you a free night without any additional spending because it widens the range of potential people who could use this card in a wallet strategy. I think a lot of people could also make the $30K spend work to trigger that second free night. And then if you just decide to use that as one of your core tenets in your hotel card strategy, well, you could have 2 free nights at a really incredible property every single year. And that's just going to be something to look forward to. And it's all thanks to a $550 annual fee card, which does have other reasonable benefits and credits to work down that annual fee. Depending on how you decide to play this card could be worth its weight in gold back to you, which is why I'm going to place it into the S tier. I'm going to switch up gears on you and go to the exact opposite side of the spectrum. Let's now consider the Best Western Premium Rewards Visa, an $89 annual fee credit card. This card gives you 1 automatic free night and 1 conditional free night. You get your first free night credited after the card member anniversary. The second becomes available once you spend $10,000. Now, the biggest thing to consider is that Best Western properties are mostly low to no frills stays. There are some real exceptions, and you can find some sweet spots. Let's look at the Dextro in San Diego, and you can use your free night to cover a room that typically costs around $200. All in all, though, you're mostly looking at standard hotels in rural areas, the outside of cities, or by airports. Because this is a little bit more of a niche card, a niche hotel chain for those who are very focused on low frills and just getting a free room, I'm not going to elevate this into a top tier category, but certainly this card is not a terrible value if you want to at least pick up a free night and get the return on a really low annual fee. I'm placing it in the C tier, but I could see some people looking at this card as high as a B tier or low A tier card, depending on if you're looking for that low sort of investment into a card for an easy return. As we get towards the end of the list, I want to switch gears again And now look at the Ritz-Carlton card, a card with a $450 annual fee. Now this breakdown is quite simple. We already talked about the Marriott lineup of cards, and the Ritz-Carlton card is connected to the Marriott Bonvoy properties. You get an $85,000 free night certificate award given to you after that first year renewal. We've already established that you could stay at some really nice properties with that high of a cap. And I simply look at the Ritz-Carlton card as a nicer, more value-oriented version of the Bonvoy Brilliant, which again came in at the B tier, and that card has a $650 annual fee. Because you're paying $200 less to hold this card, but still get that same $85K free night award benefit, this card slots in nicely as an A tier card. Let's look at the Wyndham Earner Plus, the lowest annual fee card on this list, coming in at $75. Unfortunately, the free night benefit is as low as you can get as well, with the card giving 7,500 bonus points every card member anniversary, which they say is enough to be redeemed for one free night. Now, this free night is going to be at a Tier 1 Wyndham property, which is the lowest tier property offered within that portfolio. For example, here's a Days Inn located in Savannah, Georgia. This is a Tier 1 property, and it costs a cash price of $82 a night or 7,500 points. If you're looking for free nights, this card is going to return the value you paid in back to you, but just in general, the card is fairly depressing, and the free nights you're getting probably aren't going to be all that much worth your while anyways. That being said, it just doesn't excite me at all, and I don't think it's going to excite many of you out there either. It's an E-tier card. Our last one on this list is a really interesting credit card, however, and that's the Choice Privileges Select. This card has a $95 annual fee, and you'll earn 30,000 bonus points after each card member anniversary, which, according to Choice, is enough to book potentially 3 free rooms within their portfolio of brands. Now, Choice points, like many other hotel points, are not very valuable. 30,000 points is worth roughly $180 to $210 in cash value. However, because Choice hotels are lower scale, no frills type stays in the general sense, similar to the Wyndham card, you could do some damage with 30,000 bonus points, especially considering this card is only a $95 annual fee just to hold. You could of course burn those points for lower tier properties and try to get yourself up to 3 free nights. However, let's say you wanted to use Choice and stay at a nicer property. We have the Port Inn and Suites up in Maine, which would cost you right around 25,000 points, anywhere from $137 to $150 a night in cash. That stay right there is going to be a nice experience and shows you the versatility that you have the choice of how exactly you want to burn the points that you earn every single year. Because of this versatility, I'm placing this card as a B tier free night hotel card. Now let's take a look at the final rankings. As you can see, there is something in here for everyone, whether you're wanting to spend big and go for a premium hotel card that becomes a core member in your wallet setup, or you could go for an additional benefits focus card, say the Hyatt card or something like the IHG Premier if you want to go practical with a low annual fee. There are quite a few S and A tier cards, which a lot of people will have the opportunity for a really positive experience adding those into their wallet. Now, before we go, 2 things. Hotel cards usually come closer to the end of a wallet setup build out. And if you want free resources in how to best track your wallet and how to build it out step by step, I'd encourage you to check out some of the ones on my website, rtguarantee.com/guide. Second of all, while this is all fun and exciting to think about, I always want to encourage you to pay off your credit card bill in full every single time. Otherwise, these benefits that the banks and these hotels are offering, well, you'll be on the losing end of the stick instead of taking advantage of all the good things there are out there. So keep that focus as your number one principle. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these rankings. Of course, I'll read the comments and I'm happy to see what you guys have to say. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.